It's time for the Jim and Terry Show.
I've got to start getting organized here. I don't know which screen you're on. I have multiple personality disorder here. You're all over the place. And I'm trying to keep the emails open on one screen and so I can follow things that I've sent you. Let's talk money. Specifically, have you heard about the economy? And this is, of course, going into your right-leaning, left-leaning interpretation of business, of corporations, of profits, because that's the main attack on Trudeau, and the attack on Biden is from the right side that says inflation is to be blamed on Biden in the US and on Trudeau in Canada. To what extent is that a fair claim?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person, because all I know is if, Republicans blame Democrats, liberals blame conservatives, conservatives blame liberals, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've always stated that a conservative isn't evilly, I'm going to go against my nation, and liberals aren't evilly going against their nation, They actually believe what they believe. And so that much I will give them. A conservative doesn't sit there and go, now I'm in office, I'm going to destroy everything with my viewpoint.
So we're going to strip out the evil versus good from both parties.
Yeah, and now I think now you're going to have arguments from both sides. I'm a little bit detached from it all, you know what I mean? But this much I will give into. Those who were elected to rule, I like them to be able to rule as they were elected to do. And if the population doesn't like what they've done, then elect someone else.
Right.
I'm that simple in my viewpoint. Now I could go back and forth. I mean, I guess, and tear apart absolutely everything. But I think, with all honesty, to be truly critical, you'd have to sit down and really investigate more like what you do. I don't. But even probably beyond what you do, try to imagine yourself in the back rooms of why people are saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing. Criticism is criticism for the sake of criticism. That's all it is with every party against the other. As we talked about it in one of our podcasts, they were arguing balloons in the House of Commons. Give me a break. Like, pick your fight. You know what I mean? That's not a good one.
Okay. Well, I've tried to be specific so that everything that you claim as an opinion, if you claim it's good or bad, right, wrong, you should be able to back it up with some evidence. So I'm one who tries to find evidence for a position. So I have mentioned Robert Reich before, is an economist from back in the Clinton administration, worked with labor. And so I like his presentations, and I sent you a link to one or two of those things. But let's take something specific. We talked about the rising price of gas and how Biden and Trudeau were the ones blamed for rising prices of gasoline. And then Robert Reich goes in and talks about the unprecedented profit margins declared by corporations in the oil and gas industry at the very time when the prices are going through the roof and the poor, regular, everyday schmuck is paying at the pump. And the question is, who is responsible? Well, when you take a look at the charts and you see the profits through the roof in unprecedented decades levels, you have to ask, well, why are the profits so high? And if you say, well, it's because of Biden's policies or Trudeau's policies, I think you need to take another look. Biden and Trudeau have very little control over gas prices. but they are coming down, so we're thankful for that. But why did they go up in the first place? How did we get to this level?
Well,
And
they
you,
went up. They went up for pure greed and satisfying the shareholders, of course. Same as in the food industry. I mean, you go to the store now, aren't you just blown away and amazed at what they're trying to charge for things? And we know that they too have had. The big companies have had record-breaking profits, so they're just
Yes.
taking advantage. This is the
Yes.
evil in the world, my friend.
now, if you want to go down the road of government control, which people on the right do not want to go down, you can put caps on these things. You can say thus far and no farther. You can put a ceiling on the price of certain goods in your economic basket to keep the cost of living down. You can do that, but it's not happening. But if you do that, you'll be called something else. You'll be called a commie or a socialist at
But you
worst.
see, but it's not as easy as that, because you've got a left-leaning liberal person in power right now that are not doing that. Same as
Right.
you've got Biden, who can talk till the cows come home about gun control, but he ain't going to do a bloody thing. And on 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 it goes, where I get just mentally exhausted and need to lay down. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Fix
do.
it if you can fix it.
Well, yeah, but you can't fix it when an opposing party has power. And in the case of gun control in the U.S., you can't do it when you've got the NRA and dark money coming in to influence. No, you will not put gun control legislation.
And what I'm saying is, it's awful easy to be able to make statements when you can't do it, and blame
Yes.
somebody else.
Yes.
It's easy to do that.
You're quite
so I
right.
could stand up. I'm trying to think of an example, but I don't have one. But I could stand up and shout from the rooftops if it ain't gonna happen, and I could shout it till the cows come home. And in a lot of cases, I'm a little sick of it. Fix it and state that you can't, or shut up. You know,
Well,
say there's
I
nothing
think you
we
need
can
to-
do.
I think you need to catch these people and do the process which is commonly called name and shame. And I'll give you one example of naming and shaming recently, and that's Senator Mike Lee, who in his campaign trail speech to his little town hall that he ran, he said outright, and it's on film in his own words, that he will get rid of, he will sunset Medicare, Medicaid, and what was the other one? The pensions. So he's on camera. Then he's in, whilst Biden is giving his POTUS, his State of the Union address, and he's saying no, we're not thinking of that. Republicans don't stand for this. But he's on tape. So there's an example of what you said. You can say anything you want until you're caught on camera. And my question is, does it ever really matter? Even if you are caught on camera vis-a-vis Trump and his Georgia election interference, it doesn't seem to matter, even if you are duplicitous.
Well, yeah, and it's frustrating because, as you said, that one person spewing off from the mouth at a town hall filled with probably 80% of supporters who don't like, for some reason, looking after those who need to be looked after. He can shoot his mouth off to them all he wants, and then when he can't achieve it, it's not his fault, you see.
Yeah.
He let you know, but deep inside, he probably doesn't even think that way. He may not even think that way, and this is the corruption which I can't stand.
Yeah.
Telling people something you have no intention of doing, just in order to stay in power. So it becomes a greedy little, keep me here, keep me in the office, keep me here. Like, I don't like underhanded crap. I just don't like it.
Well,
in anything.
to me, you need to be able to name and shame and prove whatever opinion you are going to share. So my point was, we had a little back and forth about corporations, and I based it on a chart in which I was showing these profits from American corporations, and I named oil and gas industry especially, but you brought up food industry, and then we went on to, you said, I wonder if costs are related to the unions and the unions' interference with politics. And
yeah, what I meant by that, let me clarify it just a bit, okay? And then, and because you're right, I mean, you took it probably the way it was meant.